Welcome to Jumpstart, the podcast designed for recording artists looking to jumpstart their cities by jumpstarting their careers in the ministry. This is Victor, your music mentor. Join me as I talk to artists, producers, and music professionals about their success, frustrations, and triumphs as it relates to the music industry. If you would like more information about the Jumpstart Initiative, visit www.sanctifiedsound.org. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Jumpstart, a podcast designed for recording artists looking to jumpstart their cities by jumpstarting their careers in the ministry. This is Victor, your music mentor. I'm sitting here with a great, powerful man of God. This is my brother, man, Cliff from Cliff & Company. What is going on?
I'm good, man. How you doing? I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
God's been good. Had some a few things going on, but I'm back and I'm good. I'm
Back
good.
in full effect, huh?
Full effect, yeah.
Come on now. How's the group going?
We're doing great. We're working.
Mm-hmm.
We're working. Everyone is doing well, and we're growing. We're growing as a team, and it is really good. So things are going well with Cliff & Company. Everyone is well.
Yeah, it's like 4 of y'all now, huh?
It's 5. A lot of people don't know that Cliff & Company is more than just a singing group. So we have other people that's a part of Cliff & Company that does service or different other things. So Cliff & Company is comprised of 4 entities: singing, of course, mentoring, education, and service. So we have a lot of people in Cliff & Company, so to speak.
Yeah.
But the singers, we have 5 singers, including myself.
Wow. And y'all do mentoring? And...
Yeah, we do mentoring. Our mentoring program is called Image Factor, and it's from 1 Corinthians. I think it's 11:1 or 1:11. It's all ones. Basically, follow me as I follow Christ. So basically what we do, we have links, or we have people that we link up with, and instead of us being mentor-mentee type relationship is, you follow me as I follow Christ, and we pretty much go through a journey with whoever we linked up with. So we do a whole bunch of activities and especially service. Service is our heart because that's a correlation to worship. Mm-hmm. So service is a big component in Cliff & Company. So.
Right. How did all of that come about?
2012, God gave me a vision to do ministry outside the 4 walls of church. And that's our mission, to do ministry outside the 4 walls of church. And nothing against church or the church organization, but I think God is calling a group of people, calling some of us to not only do ministry within the church walls, but to get out and bring more people in to the 4 walls of church, to do ministry where people wouldn't even pick up a Bible, go to places where people don't see God, and the only way you can do that is if you go within, go out the 4 walls of church.
Right.
Our next project that we're working on is called Glow in the Dark, and it has all to do with that. We're very, very excited. June will be our 5 years. It'll be 5 years that we'll be in ministry, and a lot has happened. A lot of people have joined, and again, it's not just the singing part. We have a lot of people that people don't know that are part of Cliff & Company, and it's grown so much, and people have been, changed as it relates to their spiritual life and how they look at ministry. So I just thank God for that I was able to be obedient to what He assigned me to do. So
that's fantastic, man. Like, I never knew that. Like, got your hands in everything. Just start calling you Cliff in the business.
I've been called that. As a matter of fact, we were in Hammond performing, and someone said that, Cliff in the business. I was like, that's not a name, but okay.
Yes, indeed. But y'all travel a lot, though.
We do. God has afforded us a lot of opportunities to minister nationwide. I say nationwide, but throughout the United States. North Carolina, what we do is establish relationships.
Right.
Relationships with people, and people that we meet, whether it be in Louisiana or wherever we are, and establish relationships to where if there is anything that's going on, any youth event or anything that we can sow as it relates to service, we're there and we travel. Just last summer we did a faith tour, and we didn't promote it as such, but it was an internal thing where someone will call us to go somewhere and we pay everything, and we'll go there. As long as we get there, You didn't have to pay us or anything. We just had faith that things was going to work out.
Yeah.
And God really moved tremendously, and more relationships were developed in doing that. And I think God was pleased with our seeds that we sowed during that summer. And it helped us as it relates to getting our information or getting who we were out, and not just being the artist that's trying to sell records. So yeah, but we travel a lot. We try to keep it, because a lot of us have families and whatnot. We try to keep it conservative and not be all over the place.
Right.
So we're very strategic on where we travel, when we travel, and why we're traveling.
Yeah.
For instance, if we go anywhere, we want to make sure that we possibly can do a service.
That's
some type
good.
of service. Wherever we go, we try to step in someone's radio station.
Of course.
So we always want to
multitask. How do you do that? Like, I think a lot of artists don't know exactly. I mean, they want to do it. They know that it needs to be done, but what's your method in trying to, get in contact with radio stations?
A lot of the things that we've done is trial and error, and as well as getting information from other people and just trying it, if you will. Learning from our mistakes and learning from, things that work for us. The biggest thing is to be vocal. The Bible says, ask and it shall be given, and that's exactly what it is. If you open your mouth and ask, hey, who do I need to talk to? Is there any local radio stations, in the area that we're going to? Yes, and this is what you need to do. You need to contact this person, whether it be email or phone call. And professionalism goes a long way. I can't say that enough. If you're professional, your artistry might not be that great. Your product might not be that great. It might not be where you want it to be. But as long as you have professionalism and keep God first, I'm telling you, you'll go a long way.
Yeah.
So, when you're emailing them, make sure that you're, professional in your wording, what you're trying to do. If you're on the phone with them, make sure that you're very professional with your conversation. Not trying to
overstep your bounds. I mean,
just act, be real simple. Hey, we're a group from Louisiana. We want to possibly do an interview or just step into the radio station and introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
And you probably gonna get a yes, you're gonna get a no. And the thing is, once you get a no, that doesn't mean that you stop.
Right.
Or if you don't get a call back or answer back or email back, you follow up. And work ethic is really big in what you do as an artist. And if you don't have the work ethic, if you give up really quickly, it's not going to work for you, because you can knock on the door, and you got to understand, you're not the only artist that's asking. You're not the only artist that's knocking on the door. You're not the only artist that mailed the CD to them. You're not the only You're not the only one. So you need to make sure that you continue to follow up and try again if they tell you no, or if they don't answer.
I think that is a problem or an issue, that artists feel entitled. They feel like, just because I am who I am, I'm rocking, maybe you might be doing your thing in your own city. But when you branch out, like, you're just a small fish in a big pond.
In a big pond.
It's crazy.
When you're fortunate to travel a little bit, you learn that quickly. You're humbled because you might be a star, a twinkle star in your city,
right?
But you go to someone else's city, man, they're doing the same thing, and they're doing it better,
right?
Or they're doing it like this, and you really get the chance to see, or your eyes are open to other cultures.
Yeah.
Because Louisiana's different.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
A country until itself.
Yeah. Other cultures, other ways of doing things, ministry heightened, if you will. Worship levels are heightened, at different places, and you get a chance to experience different things. You're humble. You know that you're not the only one in this thing.
Right.
So, I encourage a lot of people to travel. You might not be singing, but just to travel, just to support, or go to conferences, or you just need to go experience other things.
And not even if you're on the card or anything, just getting out and just going, just step out there and just say, hey, I'm just going to this conference.
Correct.
And, you don't leave right away. You never leave right away. That's where I see a lot of people going, and they show up late, be the first ones out the door.
Correct.
Trying to beat the crowd, or, speak on that. What's your experience, or what's your take on artists supporting half-heartedly. I'm gonna put it like that.
Well, I'm gonna go back before I get to that. When you're visiting these places, you need to have something in your hand. You know, I think social media has trumped the way we promote. Give you an example, we went to Raleigh, North Carolina, and from Raleigh, we went to like 3 of the locations around the North Carolina area, or the Raleigh area. And we had like, I think 1,000 push cards. And we didn't leave until we passed out these push cards.
Wow.
We wanted to introduce ourselves, and as a matter of fact, one place we were doing that, and we got in contact with the pastor, and the pastor was like, "Would y'all like to sing?" We weren't even planning to sing, but because we were introducing ourselves and developing relationships, and just being personable and tangible to people.
Right.
Then we were afforded an opportunity to sing. And not saying that's what you're going up there to do, but you have to travel and get around so people can kind of see you and pass out some things. There's nothing wrong with push cards or business cards or a one-sheeter. Just have one-sheeter on you that's professionally done, that has a picture and all the information. That's why it's called one-sheeter. It has all the information possible to, if someone was to read that one-sheeter, they would know as much as they need to know about you. There's nothing wrong with having those on deck, and a CD here, there. You want to pass out CDs. You need to get yourself out there. So, but to answer your question, half-heartedly supporting people. People have their own agenda, and I think and I'm gonna just kind of cut this to the bone.
Please do that. Let's be real with the folks.
As an artist. Yeah, I know there's a business aspect to it, and I know there's a look and everything, but at the end of the day, if you're doing this to glorify God, that should cut to the bone. That's what we're there for. So we're there to minister. I get it, and you're artists and whatnot, but if you're not there to glorify God, then you're already messed up. You're already in the wrong pool.
Right.
But coming to any event to support someone or to sing and then lead, it really speaks on what you're there for, like your motive, and that's not really supporting people, that's not really supporting what other people are doing, because the thing is, when we're there and when we call ourselves supporting other people, we're supporting their ministry. And a lot of people use that jargon, but I don't know if they really understand what they're saying. Hey, I'm going to support the ministry of da-da-da-da-da. Not necessarily supporting that person, but the ministry. What is that person, what is that group of people or that artist, what is he or she offering up to God? And I want to celebrate, or I want to support in that ministry and do the same thing. And it's hard to support when you're in the car going the other direction.
Right, trying to beat traffic.
Exactly.
Really?
Also understanding that people who are putting on events or they're doing, certain services, look on the other side of the table, that's you. You're doing the same thing. You want people to afford the same respect and support level that you give as it relates to being there and worshiping, not just being a bystander. And because the kingdom needs to see artists or people, different groups support each other genuinely, because that's a ministry in itself, to see unity, to see that this is not a competition. This is not, because we're not competing. Again, like I said from the beginning, if you're not there to glorify God, you messed up.
Right. If
you're there for a competition or to see who have on something or who sing the best or who runs the best, then you're not really in it for the right reasons.
Right.
I just encourage everyone. Now, I will say this, because I have been guilty to leave to go somewhere else. As an artist, if you're an artist that's working artist, I'm gonna say that, hey, we have to sing here. However, we have a studio session at later on that night.
Right. No, that's understandable.
Yeah. Hey, we're singing here, but we gotta catch a flight 6 o'clock the next morning. We need to leave. Things like that. But there's still common courtesy. Let me go to the event planner. Hey, man, I enjoyed myself. Thank you for the invite. However, we have to leave because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And just recently I was awarded. I was awarded some type of award for. I'm trying to get it right. Like some vocalist or something. I can't think what it was, but
not staring at the trophy.
They didn't call my award yet, and it was getting late in the evening, and I got a phone call from my job saying they needed me there. So before I left there, I went to the person who put it on and I apologized to him. Hey, I apologize. I have to leave. My job called me. And it's just a common courtesy. And he respected that. As a matter of fact, he gave me a call and said, Cliff, I really appreciate you, telling me that. And it's just common courtesy, just respect.
Right.
If you have to leave, because, I get it. Some people have to leave and do things. But just to go on the stage, or this is what people say, yeah, we tore up the stage and then we left. That's not how that works. That's not really cute. That's not really.
That's just showing who you are. It's really, you're telling on yourself when you do something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
You tell where your heart is and where your mind is. I mean, you're thinking about the now and not the future. You're thinking about, yourself and not the audience.
Correct.
Because think about it. I mean, you spend. I love how you said, put yourself in other people's shoes. At one point, you're going to be doing an event.
The same thing, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so you don't want people to, just to come in and as soon as they get off stage, like head right to their car. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
like show that same, like the Bible talks about, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yeah.
So. But okay, so you talked about Cliff & Company has a big future ahead of them. Everybody has. I know we talked about this off the podcast before this about everybody having their own view of success and where everybody's path to success is completely different. Where do you see what is success for Cliff & Company? Clip in the business, if you will.
Success. Success is very, very hard to obtain if your mindset is incorrect. I tell my group all the time, they really think that I'm hard on them, which I am, and I'm never satisfied. Success is really obtained when you, as a group, or if you're working by yourself, or the team that you're working with, set a goal and you work towards your goal. If you can achieve the goal, then it's time to set another goal. So each year, I tell Cliff & Company, I tell them, if each year, because we have where we set for our goals, what we want to do for the year, if we continue to progress and meet our goals and progress, then I feel like we are headed towards success. Mm-hmm. Success is not, and I always tell them, 2015 we won RP Song of the Year for the Rhythm of Gospel Awards, and when I talked to them with the award, and I told them this doesn't make us successful. This is just another milestone. This is another another dimension of where we are that we're headed to. I said that we can't rest, we can't relax. And my favorite quote is, "Good, better, best. Never let it rest until the good get better and the better gets best." So even though we might, oh man, we're good, we did a great job, but what can we do? And they always say this, we can do something really well. We analyze every performance or every ministry opportunity we have, and we say, what can we do next time to do better? We sold these many CDs, what can we do to sell more CDs? We're always trying to progress and do better. So in a nutshell, success to me is if you can set a goal, achieve the goal, and continue to progress. That's your road to success. I don't know what success looks like because I haven't reached it yet. I don't know what it looks like, but I know what I can tell I'm working towards.
What do you want Cliff & Company, the brand, to be, let's say, in the next 5 years or something like that?
In the next 5 years, I told you earlier that Cliff & Company is made up of 4 entities. I would like Cliff & Company to be that group that's not only just singing. I want it to literally formulate as a church, not hey, the church of Cliff & Company, but the people, because we all know, all of our saints know that the church is comprised of people, of the people that joins Cliff & Company and just become affiliated with Cliff & Company to do ministry outside the 4 walls. I always look at it like the church is compared to the hospital, but Red Cross is what I want Cliff & Company to be.
Wow.
The entity outside of the hospital that can do triage, they can do surgery, they can hand out water, they can sandbag, for flooding. I want Cliff & Company to be Red Cross. Red Cross is the mobile hospital.
Wow.
I don't want to be the hospital. So in 5 years, I would definitely like our music. Our music is the entity that funds the other ones, if you will. we work really hard to make sure that the lucrative part of the singing part goes into service, goes into mentoring, goes into education.
Right.
Because that's the only way that I feel like we can build. And again, we're not building an audience for our music. We're building an audience so God can be glorified and more people can go to God. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If that's not happening, if people are just looking at us as demigods, I
know, right?
we're not doing what we're supposed to do. We want to bring more people to Christ. So
Yeah.
that's what I want us to do. I want us to be the little Red Cross.
Come on now. That's never thought about it like that. That's an interesting way to put that. So, but talk about your journey here, your journey to where you are now. Like, where did it all begin?
I've been singing all my life, and to do it professionally, I had an opportunity to do it while I was in college, and I was very ignorant, didn't know what it took. I was just kind of, I was singing in a group with some guys, and we were recording, we were traveling, we were doing a lot of stuff, and I paid attention, but I kind of didn't pay attention to it, but I didn't know that it took so much. It takes money, it takes practice, it takes, it takes concentration, it takes dedication, it takes all those things to get there, and I didn't really do it right the first time. This time around, I was very, very careful in selecting who's going to work with me. First of all, they had to have a heart for God and know what it was that what the vision was to do ministry outside the four walls of church, but to know that there was a business side to this too. And if they didn't understand that we were in business for God, then I couldn't work with them either. So, in saying that, I just really buckled down in being as professional as possible, and really just understanding that it takes money. It takes money. I'm gonna scream that. It takes money to do this. A lot of these artists out here are trying to cut corners and, burn their CDs out of their computers and, and again, the Bible says spots not small beginnings. I get it. Sometimes that's where you have to go sometimes. But if you really want to do this and do it, let's back up. The first thing is you need to understand why you're doing this. I do voice lessons, and the first thing I ask them is, why do you want these voice lessons? Do you want them, because you want to sing in church? Do you want to gig? Do you want to make it in the industry? Do you just want to do it because you like singing? Or, do you want to make sure that when the mailman comes, when you're singing, that it sounds good? I mean, I need to know what's your reason. You need to know what the reason is. If you're doing this because you want to sell records, or you want to, participate in the industry, or the music industry, if you will, you really got to take a different approach. If you just want to travel around the city and just sing at musicals and whatnot, great. Just establish what it is you're doing this for, and then know the level of professionalism or the level of what needs to happen after that.
So what were you doing this for when you first started?
Definitely wanted to get our music worldwide. So definitely industry type work ethic, submitting music to different radio stations, award commissions, the Grammys and whatnot, and other gospel award arenas, trying to chart on the billboards and whatnot. So that was definitely the whole thing. Again, for Cliff and Company, out of the 4 entities, I did a demonstration for them. I'm really big on demonstrations and tangible things. That's just how I learn. I put 3 red cups in the sink, and if you can imagine, just to make it like a triad or a triangle, and I put the 4th cup on top of the 3 cups. And what I did was pour water into the top cup, which was the singing entity. It represents the singing.
Right.
And that was the water was representing the money or lucrative earnings. We put all of our lucrative, or we depend on our singing to fund the other entities.
Right.
So that's what we want to do. So the music part of it, yes, we sell CDs, yes, we on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, and all those funds never reach our pockets, not even Cliff.
Wow.
It goes into the other entities. So that's how we knew we were going to fund the other entities. So
wow.
We really, and the reason why we did it that way is because God gave it to me just like that.
Mm-hmm.
He gave it to me just like that. Do it just like this. So making it in the industry is not so we can live lavish or be on Bobby Jones show or the Ty Tribbett show or anything like that. That's not what it was for. It's so we can further the ministry.
Right.
That was definitely what it was, and it's only one way you can do that.
Yeah.
It's with money. So.
Well, I know you've been in this business for a long time. About how long?
I say about 10 years.
About 10 years.
Yeah.
They say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. So
That's awesome, right?
But I know that you hit a lot of frustrating parts and things that that kind of stopped you and may have tried to deter you away from the ultimate goal of where you saw your success. Every artist deals with that, but every artist sometimes feel like they're alone in their particular situation. No, you don't understand. I'm going through this, or I'm going through that. You ain't got nothing. What was some of the frustrating things that happened in your career that could have stopped you, could have slowed you down?
Support from the closest part of you. That's what hurts the most when you think that you have a really good thing going and the people closest to you are negative. And it wasn't just for me. It was, I had group members that was experiencing the same thing. So that was difficult. That was one of the major things that happened within Cliff & Company was the support from the people closest to you. It wasn't there.
Right.
And it was, it wasn't encouraging at all. The other thing was making sure that we were all on the same page. When I first did it, when I was in the group with another group of guys early on in college, my head wasn't in the right place. Meaning that I wasn't in it for God, and I was in it just for the fame and the popularity and whatnot, and I wanted to make sure that the people that were around me this time around for Cliff & Company did not have that mentality. So that was a struggle, not struggle, but it was something on my agenda real strong to make sure that they understood this is not for the glitz and the glamour, and if it is, then
Right.
you have to sing for somebody else. So another issue that we had was finding people around you to work with that understood your vision, understood what you were trying to do. A lot of people, a lot of people will do things for their own personal gain, i.e. Recording and or hey, let me do your graphics. They're doing your graphics not for you. They're doing the graphics for them,
Right.
so they can get paid. And it's hard to find someone to follow your vision and follow what it is that you're trying to look, that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it was difficult to find advice, genuine advice from people that was giving you,
Right.
if they were trying to give you some advice that was going to lead you somewhere that you didn't need to go. And those are some of the things, that we had difficulty, that I had difficulty, or some things I wanted to quit.
Yeah. It gets enticing to say, just forget it all.
Yeah, forget it all. This is especially the first one I said, when your family doesn't, support you, or the people that's closer to you, they don't support you. That was really, really, because we worked hard. We wrote music. We traveled here to record it. We do this and we do that. We spent a lot of money to do these things, and out of ourselves, we don't see this, or we don't. It was certain things that we were looking for as far as support that we didn't see. So that was kind of hard. But
how'd you get through it?
We went to the Word. We went to the Word where it was saying that the bishop didn't even get his due respect in his hometown. The prophet, not the bishop, the prophet.
But even Jesus.
Yeah, So we always go back to the Word, and we were comforted by the Word, and knew that it was something that was destined for us. And another thing that we got out of the Word was, if the devil's not attacking you, then you should be scared. And I'm not saying attacking, but if he's not at your heels, if that means that you really not really doing it. Yeah, you're not concerned. So, you know, for those trials and tribulations to head our way, I knew that we were on the brink of something. And I remember when we first recorded our first album, the very first trip to Atlanta, I wrote down a list of things, a paper, front and back, of things deterring us from getting to record that music. And our covering at the time, oh, by the way, all you artists, independent artists, rap artists, choirs, mass choir, super choir, have a covering.
Yeah.
Have
Yes.
someone so that they can hold you accountable.
Yeah.
You don't swim in this race by yourself.
Yeah. You ain't gonna make it.
You're not gonna make it.
You're not gonna make it.
You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. You need to have someone that you're accountable to.
Mhm.
Have some type of covering. Have someone that you need to answer to. Especially the leaders of these groups are if you're independent artists. All right. So anyway, I was telling my covering. I was like, look, these are all the things that happen, and I was like, man, this must be an album that's gonna go triple platinum.
Right.
Because it was so many things deterring us from. It was hard for us to get the rental car, so we had a flat, so we left out of Baton Rouge hours late before our scheduled time. We had hotel issues. I mean, when we got into Atlanta at 8 o'clock at night, it had literally like traffic bumper to bumper because of wrecks. We missed our first appointment for our first recording session because of all that, and it was like, man, we have to get there. We have to fight to get here because it's someone in this United States that needs to hear this music.
Yeah.
And that came into fruition. It was people who were, I never forget the one from Chicago. This young lady had inboxed us and said that your song Pieces Panic Room was the song that kept me from killing myself. And I was like, that's why we had to get there to record this music. And artists, you need to understand that you're writing these songs, or you're getting songs or people to write for you. You know, your ministry is not just on wax, just to say you sold or you made a CD or you pushing product. No, it's to minister to people. These people that are hearing it, that is falling on ears that need your help, that need these words, that need these lyrics. So don't just think that you're doing it just because. You're going to get results from it. You're doing ministry, you're going to get results from it. So just make sure you put 110% in it. So.
Yeah. What do you think that other artists' frustrations are when they say that that you can't make it in the industry or whatever? What are some of the things that you've seen other artists go through that have stopped them from achieving the success or being the force that God created them to be?
The first thing I'm going to say is ignorance. I think ignorance caused them
not in a derogatory sense.
No, like not knowing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to do next. Hey, I have a song. What do I do now? I don't have a band. What do I do? It's because of ignorance, people don't have answers. They can't move forward because they don't know. They're not really experiencing it. They're not familiar with it. I think the other thing is that that a lot of people are frustrated with is because they're getting so much information and they don't know how to decipher it, which goes into the ignorance. They still don't know what to do because they're getting so much information on what to do, how to dress. You should market it like this. You should do it like that. You should sing it like this and sing it like that. And I think it's just a lot of work to try to figure out what it is that you're trying to do. Then you have your people who are trying to tell you, you need to sign to a label, you need to do this, you need to do that, and they're not really savvy, or they don't know what it is what that is. What does that mean? You're just trying to chase a dream, and in saying that, chasing a dream, I implore you as an artist not to mimic or not to imitate what you see other artists doing.
Right.
I think we said it earlier. You gotta understand that everyone has their own route to success. They have their own path. They have their own way to success. Yeah. So what happened to this artist might not work for you.
Right.
You know, it might, as a matter of fact, it may be
Conditions won't be
exactly. As a matter of fact, it may be detrimental to your ministry. You know, if you do this, you know, you just have to understand your place. You got to be real open to what God is trying to tell you to do. It's difficult, you know, and because of ignorance. That's why I said ignorance as the biggest answer. But because of ignorance, the only thing I do, I can mimic what he's doing, and he seems successful. She seems successful, so I'm gonna do that because she's doing this and she's doing good. You know, and you can't really fall into that all the time. And that goes back to that Facebook thing. You see a lot of people have successful Facebook ads and social media ads and whatnot. Well, because they have developed their relationship to get thousands of followers. You know, they've developed that, or they had relationships with people that will give them $500 to sponsor that Facebook post. So now millions of people can see it. And all you see is, oh, they have 1 million views. Well, you don't know what happened to get to that.
Exactly.
You know, relationship, if I can say anything from this podcast, is relationship. The art of forming relationships is dead, and it shouldn't be. It needs to be resurrected. Facebook and Instagram, Twitter cannot promote you alone. It has to be relationships. You need to talk to people. You need to converse with people. You need to introduce yourself. You need to be confident that you can go to the local radio station and know who the director. I'm trying to think of what they call them. The program director. Yeah,
you got to know them personally.
You need to know them. You need to know them by name. You need to know them. So when you slip in music to them, they see your name and say, "Oh, I know this person. Let's put it in rotation."
Exactly.
You know why? Because hey, I sat by him at this lunch, and you know, he's a really good person. You know, or she's a really good person. You should be able to go and have a relationship. One of my very first manager that worked with us, she said, "You always need to acknowledge the pastor and his wife."
Of course.
And that's lost. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't do that. They're just coming.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
You need to understand, hey, this pastor is associated with this church. Shake his hand. Thank you so much for allowing us to minister. You know, we appreciate it. As a matter of fact, before we went to North Carolina, we talked to the pastor a couple times. When we showed up, we knew each other, you know, by just conversing on the phone. So it's not like, oh, who are you? You know, let me get a chance to know you. And now you're singing to my flock. You know, I'm kind of skeptical because I don't know who you are.
Exactly.
You know,
even release parties. I tell folks all the time, there's no green room for you at a release party. You need to be in the audience when they come through the door, saying, "Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm so glad you came." You know, they need that connectivity because 9 times out of 10 they hadn't heard your music yet, right? Which that's a whole nother thing I'll talk about later. But you never release your album at the party because they don't know it.
Correct.
You release it before it, and this is a celebration of it, you know. And so, but don't you think that people will have like a better connection with you if you're greeting them at the door, you know what I'm saying, just talking to them a little bit, or, you know, just thanking them for coming. By the time you hit the stage, it's like, man, I'm all in. It's like, I couldn't wait for you to hit the stage.
Intimacy is a word that's only used for sexual connotation. But I think people need to understand that intimacy is very, very important. And if you're a worshiper, you know what I mean. Your relationship with Christ or your intimacy with Christ, that's your worship time. And intimacy is always that bomb in whatever you're doing. So you're talking about the release parties or album release, whatever it is. That intimacy setting, like a lot of people want an intimate setting. Why do you want an intimate setting? Because I want you to feel what I'm doing. You know, I want you to
shake their hand.
Yeah, you know, hey, can I touch you? You know, hey, thank you, man, your music did X, Y, and Z for me. You know, and a lot of people lose that because you know, they want to be so grand and they see what they saw on different television shows and whatnot. And again, that's that mimicking. Don't mimic because you're gonna mess up every time because you don't understand why certain artists just drop an album and sell 1 million copies in one day. That person has been in the game for over 15 years. That person has a following, and what they're doing in between albums have them itching to what you got next. And you know, so you got to understand you can't do what certain people do #lemonade. You can't do that.
Sneak that in there.
Yeah, you can't do that. You have to work. She has worked hard to get to that point.
Right,
Where she can do
but you
that.
see a lot of artists doing that stuff,
And they fail.
Exactly.
They fail tremendously, and they wonder why. I bought a box of CDs and the CDs are still in my car.
Exactly. Because number one, the thing people aren't doing now, they aren't hitting that road. That's where you're going to sell those CDs.
Correct.
People aren't buying CDs. They aren't downloading your music just off rip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You literally have to touch these people for them to actually want to go support you.
Correct.
They'll tell you all the time and say, I'm gonna go get it, right after this or whatever. No, they're not.
It's just 99 cents. Well, I'm about to go to Wendy's and get a 99 cent burger.
Right.
And I agree. People, you have to understand that this is, because it is a business, it is a business. However, to them, it's not business. To your audience, to your demographic, it's not business.
Mm-hmm.
It's me investing in what you have to say.
Right. And so we have to change our mindset.
You have to change your mindset.
To actually cater to your audience the same way big businesses are doing that. They're literally giving stuff away for free to entice you to buy more. I mean,
Correct.
You see that on every level of business.
What we do as far as when we sell our t-shirts, we'll give at least maybe 1 or 2 t-shirts away to some high energy people that's in the building.
Oh, yeah.
And say, hey, I'm gonna give you this t-shirt, but you have to make sure you bring everybody to the t-shirt table.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works because not only that, we're advocating our t-shirts, hey, get t-shirts, but you have somebody that that's running around, and now you got, I'm not gonna say free labor, but you have someone that's pretty much like running it for you.
Right.
I have a shirt. So we gave away 2 shirts and sold 100.
Wow.
Man, we gave away 2 CDs.
On investment.
Oh, on return on investment, yes. While we're singing or ministering, we might give away, like at the Blues Fest, we performed and we gave away. And I'm notorious on giving away CDs, and they like, Cliff, you can't do that. Oh my God, we lose some money.
Yes, you can.
But
you need
at one point I was giving away a lot, but we'd give away CDs, and people would love that. And then the next thing is, well, what else you have? I want to put you with something.
True. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else you have? Man, you gave me this CD. I can't believe that. Well, what else you have? Well, we have T-shirts and we have these CDs,
right.
And they end up buying
the whole
2
package.
other things. Exactly, because I gave them a CD.
Exactly.
I blessed them with a CD. So you gotta understand, and these guys at these stores, ladies at these stores. I sent a couple ladies at these stores, in front of the stores, the storefronts, and hey man, you support me, here's my CD and stuff. A lot of people be laughing at those people, but those people are getting their music out there.
Yeah.
They're getting it out there because they're putting their feet to the road, and they're here connecting with people, and people are gonna remember those people. Now are they gonna get a Grammy or are they gonna sell millions of records? Probably not, but it's grassroots promotion to where if they do get on their feet and get some television, radio thing, they're like, oh, I remember that.
Right.
And then they're going to be intrigued and want to buy
that
more.
always comes back to why you're doing this in the first place. I mean, are you doing it for a Grammy? Are you doing it for, there are a lot of people that are.
Yeah.
They literally will say that, I just want to, hit the stage with Kirk, or I want to hit the stage with, Lecrae or somebody like that. And but I mean, you'd be surprised at the answers I've been getting from just asking people like, what are your goals, or what do you want to do with this music? But what do you do to best learn and grow intellectually?
Of course, I read. I read a lot of commentators that have scripture based or Bible innuendos. That kind of because one thing about it, you can't go into the business meeting and say, well, 1 Corinthians, this, da, da, da. You need to know how to be able to conduct business and whatnot, and talk to people. Also, just learning by your mistakes. I always tell people, I'm in a fraternity, and we learn so many things through life issues, if you will. If you walk into a room and you stump your toe, well, it could be because of a couple of reasons. Probably because you walked in the room and you didn't turn the light on.
Right.
And then once you walk into the room, okay, now I need to turn the light on. So you're probably not going to stump your toe. But if you stump your toe again, you need to analyze, why I stump my toe again? I stump my toe because it's something in the middle of the floor. So I know next time I need to pick it up. And the thing is once things happen, you have to analyze, fix it, and then move on. You know, if you continue to do the same mistakes over and over again, you know, everyone knows that's the law of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't do that.
Expecting different results.
Yeah. You know, they can't do that. I tell my vocal students all the time, when you sing, this is my philosophy, you sing, analyze, fix, sing it again, and do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't sing something and say, oh, I messed up, and then keep going. You need to analyze, why did I mess up? Why? Oh, I didn't get enough breath? Okay, what do I need to do? I need to do this next time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's how you learn. Intellectually, that's how I learn, through trial and error. I read a lot, and observation.
Yeah.
Observation. You know, sometimes you just have to be quiet and observe.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a whole lot.
Right. You know,
You learn a whole lot.
I like to talk to business owners that have failed in certain businesses. I want to know why. Like, what did you do that, you know, caused your business to tank? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I got pad and pen and everything, because I want to know. I mean, you learn more from failure than you do from success.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, I want to know what you did wrong. You know what I'm saying? So,
And you'd be surprised. And they will, yeah. You'd be surprised. The most successful organizations are the ones who have failed or tanked.
Yeah.
I.e., I visited, I had to sing in Bentonville, Arkansas. That's the home of Walmart.
Okay, yeah.
I learned a whole lot of Mr. Walton's failures that makes Walmart the biggest store ever, you know,
Right.
because of his failures. I walked in the museum and it talked about that. It talked about all of his failures and what he did and what he didn't do, who were his business partners, his constituents, and it showed. From that, I learned to do this, and you know, and now Walmart is like the biggest thing ever. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. You know, with your failures, you're definitely going to be strong if you take them and
apply them to your life.
Gotcha.
You know, it has to be applied knowledge. It's not knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. So, how do you find balance between work and your family?
That's something that I had to. That was one of the life lessons that I had to learn. You have to, again, go all the way from the beginning and know why you're doing it. And if you ever lose sight of why you're doing these things, especially if you have family involved, a spouse involved, you have to make sure that y'all both on the same team, or your family is on the same team as it relates to what's the main focus, what you're doing, why you're doing it. Because if you lose that focus, then you end up losing your family. Balance is important because it makes you a better person as an artist if you have some sense of balance. I think about your Todd Delaney, which is a very, very family man. You can tell that he enjoys family. Sometimes he will deny gigs, because I saw on Instagram he denied a gig because it was his son's birthday, I believe, or something like that. So those things have to be important to you, to where your music career or your artistry doesn't trump family or trump your spouse, or because if it does, then you will lose that.
Yeah,
you will lose it. So balance, again, I really can't give you an answer. I can just warn you that if you don't have a sense of balance, if you don't have a sense of an understanding, or your family or your spouse have an understanding of what it is that you're trying to do, and support has a lot to do with it too. If you have someone that's supporting you and backing you up, that makes it that much easier. However, you need to make it a point to say no. I taught one of my group members this. As a matter of fact, I do it in one of my workshops. The power of no. No is not a bad word like you think it is. If you say no, great. If they want you, if they really want you, they'll call you again.
Right.
I'm sorry, we're not able to do this because X, Y, and Z, or we're scheduled or whatever. If they that upset with you because you're not able to do this, then it wasn't meant for you to do it no way.
Right.
You have to be able to say no and stand on that to know that you have something more pertinent, to do, like family or date night or whatever the case may be. You need to take that. You need to have that balance. If not, you get spun away real quick. And this is another thing I wanted to tell you with that. If you think about it, your family and your spouse, they ain't gonna be there for you when the times are dark, when you're broke, when You know, when you're hungry, when you're sick, and all those things. Okay, if you don't put that first, and you rely on the industry or the limelight or traveling, touring, singing, everyone clapping, screaming, calling your name, whatnot, whatever the case may be. If you rely on that, when you are sick and down, you're ailing, when you're broke, when you're depressed, when you need some time to be refilled, that industry is not going to do it for you.
Right. They're the ones sucking all that stuff away from you.
Exactly. They're not going to refuel you. They're not going to fill you up. They're not going to send you the money. They're not going to do anything for you. Your family that you've forsaken is that source. That you know, and that's if you're in family. You know, that's if you're in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you see a lot of artists that are single, or you see a lot of artists that are not starting families because they know. And even if you don't have a family or a spouse, you still need to have a sense of balance. I like to go fishing, so I will go fishing. Sometimes I cancel rehearsal so I can go fishing.
Right, just need that.
I need to have my time.
Y'all need a rest too. Huh?
Yeah.
At the end of this, we always have some kind of rapid fire questions and stuff like that. So if you're game, we can.
Let's play, man. I like it.
All right. So
a lot of people don't know who I am. A lot of people think I'm a mystery. So maybe this loosen it up.
Right. All right, so let's say you're stranded on a desert island, and you can bring only one thing with you.
Okay.
What would it be?
One thing, or one? Does that have to be a person? Or
It's a thing. Something.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Music. My music. Like earphones, like iPod, something.
Right. Just something to pass the time.
Yeah, I need music.
So if you had no constraints with money, time, location, or anything, there was nothing hindering or stopping you from having a perfect day.
Yeah.
What would the perfect day look like?
The perfect day would be wake up, eat breakfast.
Of course,
yeah. Go fishing. Go clean up, of course. Go to the studio. And
that's it.
That's about it, yeah.
That's your day, man.
That's it. I love outside, fresh. Yeah, that'd be my perfect day.
Yeah. It ended up singing about the whole experience.
The whole experience, yeah. So it's either the studio or performing at night.
Right.
That's what I would do.
Yes, indeed. Man, that sounds like a beautiful day, bro. If you could go back and give your younger self advice. Woo. Oh yeah, I know. I just struck a nerve. What would that advice be?
Listen. Listen. I think I went through a lot of things in my life because I didn't listen. Whether it be my parents, whether it be my teachers, whether it be my coach, the pastor, I didn't listen.
Yeah.
So I would tell myself to listen.
Wow. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, people to open their ears. I used to teach school. I worked in the school system. I was more disciplined. And one of the things that I used to see a lot was that, kids will, want to rebuttal the teacher, and not really listening to the information or, the subject matter that's at hand.
Correct.
That answers the question that you're about to ask. You know what I'm saying?
You just listen. You got it coming.
Put your hand down.
It's coming.
Pay
just
attention.
Listen. Yeah.
So, man, this is beautiful, man. So, what would you give to our artists as a parting piece of advice?
Know why you're doing this. That'd be the first thing. If you're doing this really to glorify God and to bring more people to the kingdom, then you can go to the next step. If not, be real with yourself and just say, hey, I just want to make a song in the studio. I just want to be real with yourself and really why you're trying to do this. Because if you're trying to fake the funk, it's hard out there. People think it's easy. It's hard to get on these people's planes, go here and there, and stay in different rooms, and it's extremely hard and tiresome. It's not as easy as you think it is.
Right.
But what I would advise you to do is keep God first and make sure that you're doing it for the right reason, or establish what your reason is, and be professional.
Mm-hmm.
In everything that you do, just remain professional.
Yeah. How can people get in contact with you?
You can contact me. I don't want to give my. Well, I guess I can. I did it already. Phone number 225-368-6839. 225-368-6839. That's to reach me. If I don't answer, please leave a message because I don't answer numbers I don't know.
Yeah, go right to the secretary.
Yeah. Facebook, Cliff Nichols. Instagram, Cliff_Nichols. I don't do Twitter. And you can find all my information on there. You can email me at cliffordj.nichols@gmail.com. Yeah, just find me.
You have a website or something?
I don't. It's in the working. We're working on our website. We're really gearing up for our new project, Glow in the Dark, so everything is gearing up to that.
Right. Brother, I appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
So much,
Thanks, man.
A lot
Thanks.
of wisdom. I can definitely tell your heart is after helping and want to see other people succeed the right way.
Yeah.
The professional way. That's the only way that you're going to really succeed.
You're right.
You know, so this is Victor, your music mentor, saying jumpstart your city by jumpstarting your career in the ministry. Let us show you how. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to Jumpstart, the podcast designed for recording artists looking to jumpstart their cities by jumpstarting their careers in their ministry. This has been Victor, your music mentor. And if you would like more information about the Jumpstart Initiative, visit www.sanctifiedsound.org. Thank you for listening.